Good morning, Music Theory 3. This is the second Keyboard Lab installment. This is the tutorial for Music 206 Keyboard Lab number 8. And this one involves secondary dominants. I've got it on the piano here. I hope you can see it. We have two very short chorale phrase excerpts. And let me point out where the secondary dominants are. One of the big giveaways that you're looking at a secondary dominant is extra accidentals. You've got one there in the first case, and you've got one there. It's a double sharp in the second case. Now, the first example in the key of two sharps is going to either be D major or B minor. If you look at the bass, starts on a B, ends on a B. There's 5, 1, and B. That's definitely B minor. The second example in the key of four sharps is going to either be E major or C sharp minor. Starts on a C sharp, winds up on a C sharp. There's 5, 1, and C sharp. So we're definitely in C sharp minor. Now these are not going to change keys, but somewhere along the way there's going to be a secondary dominant, a 7 of something else or a 5 of something else. So let's look at our B minor example first. We're starting with a 1 chord, B minor, in root position. Then we're going to go to an E minor chord. No numbers, it's root position. That's a 4 chord. Then we have a chord spelled E sharp, accidental. Above the E sharp we have a G sharp. That's what the extra sharp means. Then we have a B and a D. The chord sounds like this. It's a fully diminished 7th. When you change a chord into a fully diminished 7th, almost always you're changing it into a secondary dominant, a 7, 7 of something. So how do we know where this chord wants to resolve? Well, what's the root? E sharp. That means this chord is a 7 of F sharp, and the very next chord is F sharp. And then the F sharp, which is a 5 chord in B minor, goes to 1. So we have a 1 chord, 4 chord, our secondary dominant, 7, 7 of 5, that goes to 5, that goes to 1. In the second example, we're in the key of C sharp minor, 4 sharps. The first chord is a 1 chord, C sharp minor itself. Then C sharp minor drops down to a root position, A major chord. That's Roman numeral 6. Then we get an F double sharp. That's kind of cool. The 6-5 means that the F double sharp is the third of the chord. The chord is in first inversion. So I've got a chord spelled D sharp, F double sharp, A sharp, and C sharp. It sounds like that. It's not hard to play. D sharp, F double sharp, A sharp, C sharp is a dominant 7th chord. So the root of the chord is D sharp, and D sharp is going to be 5 of something because we have an extra accidental and we've made it into a dominant 7th. So if D sharp is 5, its target is G sharp, and it goes to G sharp. But in this key, G sharp is not the key that we're in. G sharp is 5 of the key that we're in. So I've got a 5, 6, 5 of G sharp, which means it's a 5, 6, 5 of 5, and then 5 goes to 1. So one more time, I've got a 1 chord that goes to a 6 chord that goes to a first inversion 5, 7 of 5, a 5, 6, 5 of 5. Then that goes to 5 itself, and then 5 goes to 1. That's most of the work of this keyboard lab, and then what I would like you to do is transpose just the outer voices. In fact, you can even pick one or the other. Transpose one or the other pair of outer voices to a new key. So these don't change keys. They stay in the same key overall, but within that key there is one secondary dominant that sort of amplifies or draws a little bit of extra attention to the 5 chord. There's the 7 of 5 that goes to 5. There's the 5, 6, 5 of 5 that goes to 5. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.